Hey, what's up, everybody? BDL44 coming at you with another video. All right. AR-15 is officially back. We didn't have to sign no offer sheet with nobody who wants to give us a poison pill. $56 million 4-year deal. I'm ecstatic about it. That's only $14 million a year for Austin Reaves, if my math is correct. I think that's what that is. My math is usually trash, but I think that's 14 a year for Austin, which is a major pay cut because I definitely thought Austin could go out there and get astronomical, probably double that with what we're seeing out there. So this is thrilling. It shows me that he's ready to be a part of what we have here. He understands where he's at in his career and wants to invest in the team. As we've been talking about, players have to invest in the team if they really want to win. You can't take all the money from the cap so that your teammates suck. Can't happen. And a guy like Austin Reaves did not decide to go to a team where that would be the case. He didn't even want to test free agency necessarily. He just wanted to re-sign with the team that has the best role for him, that he's developed on, that he forced his way to initially. And Rob Pelinka wins again, yet again. Everything we did was good. We still got a few more things that I think we're going to do. Probably sign Malik Beasley and Mo Bamba back to something we like. And I think we might have a few dollars left over to do something else. Hopefully we will boost either our point guard position or our center position. I think we could use one more point guard, maybe a vet, likely one of them vets that I don't ever usually want us to sign, but because we could use a vet, maybe $1-2 million to throw one more guy. God knows who that would be, point guard of some point guard you know, DJ Augustin type dude. And we need a center, one more center, two more centers, two more, Bamba and somebody else. And then you have Jackson Hayes, Bamba, Castleton. That's somebody else. Maybe that'd be Tristan Thompson or something. But that's really all I need the Lakers to do, man. Just get me a couple more centers and maybe a backup point guard that we can likely have on the team. We're probably never going to play that guy. That's the guy you signed. $1 million, $2 million. Sit on the back of the bench and wait. Shaq Harrison, maybe that'd be a great player to have at that role. I don't know if he's going to be able to be re-signed, but like a $2 million deal for Shaq Harrison would be perfect. I don't need a whole lot. I think my team is set so long as they keep looking for that center, that next center position. Now, if we don't get that next center, we're still very much in need of that. Very much in need of that. But other than that, man, I'm super happy. Austin Reaves came back and gave us a solid, man, just like Rui Hachimura. They didn't take too much of the cap. We locked him up for several years. I couldn't be more pleased with that. Now that contract ballooned, since it's not $100 million deal, it's not going to be 37 for 1 year for Austin Reaves, so we're not going to be likely screaming we need to trade him at the end of the contract, regardless of how he's playing, because the contract doesn't look bad at all. So I'm set, man. I'm set. My Lakers won the free agency, if you ask me. It's between us and Phoenix, and I think we did our job, man. Now, whether or not it's going to come out to be a team that gets to the Western Conference Finals, who knows if we got that type of upside this year. But that's not the point. You want to be an overall healthier franchise with healthier asset class that's all ascending in age and talent in a positive way. Guys that are getting better and not too old in doing so. It's going to be a lot of teams that think they're going to be contenders, but they're not going to be better than the Lakers this year. I don't believe. Not as it pertains to what it is we're capable of doing for ourselves. If we want to make trades at the halfway point, we should have some very valuable pieces to be comparable with some of these trade packages that are going to be going around for whatever it is we target. So that's also a big part of what we always talk about. Do we have the package to get us the dream? And the answer right now is almost. We're almost there. Depending on how well these rookies play and how well they play themselves up to in value, we'll be close. And then, of course, LeBron James and Anthony Davis continue playing the way they've been playing, stay at the level they've been at. We're in a good space. So, yeah, man, it's a great time to be a Laker fan. Welcome back, Austin. Welcome back, Rui. Welcome to the team, all the guys who came through. We're happy you're here, man. We're happy. And I feel better going into this season than I did last year. We don't have to necessarily make a trade at the halfway point that's going to complete our team or nothing like that. We get to go in with a training camp, young players that expect to be on the team next year too, with another training camp, who likely are going to be on the same team the year after that as well, and they're just going to learn to grow together. A bunch of guys that are on multi-year contracts that align with one another, so that we have a team that we can expect to keep. So that is A1 home run for me in regards to grading what Rob has done here. The draft, we smoked it. Free agency, we smoked it. And you just got to love what the Lakers do. I don't know if it leads to a championship or not, but I don't think it's too many teams making better moves than we are right now. So that's just what it is. However you view it, oh, we didn't get the biggest names. But if you know what you're talking about in regards to our cap space, we created an opportunity to be flexible for many years to come. And what we've done here, especially getting lucky with the players that we have wanting to work with us in doing so. I feel like we got a team here, not just the players on the floor, but the guys in the front office, and everybody seems to be on a string the way I've been praying we would become. We're here now. The players are invested, the team is invested, the core is in place. Everybody's got good stuff going for themselves. If we make a mistake from here, we can probably fix it based on our asset class and how we put things together. So the Lakers got a great situation going for themselves. We just pray for good health now. Rob, you've done your job, man. You've earned your extension from last year. You got us out of that hole that you were initially hired to get us out of. It took about 7 years, but you got us out of it. I think we're officially out of that hole right now, man. And this is the healthiest the Lakers have been as a franchise since probably 2010, honestly, with the exception of the 2020 championship, which I think we weren't as healthy as we'd like to be because we had to mortgage everything for our AD, and a lot of the stuff that we had were one-year deals and stuff like that. So as a franchise, we weren't that healthy at all. We just so happened to get the championship that year. But this is a much healthier squad. This squad has so many more assets than that squad had. And we still got AD and Bron, who I could argue is probably still the same value they did then. So we're in a great spot, man. Great spot. And so, yeah, that's what I got to say, man. I don't know if it translates to us getting out of the third round or anything like that. I don't particularly know that. Should be what we think we're going to do this year, just because we're ecstatic about the offseason. The offseason success is more so about the course of what could be possible over the next 5 seasons because of what we've done here. Not necessarily about what this team is going to be this upcoming season at all. But for me, it's all about overall team health. Y'all know that's what we preach here, and that is exactly what Rob has helped us put together. So if I'm Jeanie Buss, I'm happy. Now that Austin signed, I think Rob Pelinka's done an A+ job, man. A+ job. If he ain't the executive of the year, I don't know who would be after these moves. The kids would have to go out there and perform extremely poorly in order for him not to be seen as the guy who's doing the best work right now, in my opinion. So now we just need Darvin to come back year 2 and make this team make sense, man. Once again, coach has put together a roster, assuming we get ourselves another center. He's put together a roster that should be interchangeable in pieces. Shouldn't be no small ball. Shouldn't be no reason to be confused about who to put on the floor and win. We got all types of players that within their positions to be able to complement Bron and AD. You got your guards, you got your shot makers, you got your defensive players, you got your long wingy dudes, you got your upside guys, you got proven veterans that you can play in the core, and Vincent and D'Lo. I don't see any reason for us to be confused about rotations. I don't see any reason to be taking chances, running one guy 40 minutes like running Wenyen Gabriel, or rather not Wenyen, Vincent, like we did Patrick Beverly and Russell last year. I don't see any reason for any of that when you got so many pieces that need to develop this year. You got your Max Christie, Jalen Hood-Schifino, Max Lewis. All these dudes need their playing time. So if we do it like we did last year and score by committee, defend by committee, I think that's probably the best course of action for this roster once again. We don't need one guy taking 40 shots. Not on this team. This is a team where everybody should be getting their looks, and whoever steps forward will solidify themselves as the guys who keep the role. So that's how I think we'll probably likely see it done. Nobody's safe in that starting lineup this year, to be completely honest with you. Only the core. Everybody else, you're fighting for it. Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura, now that they've been paid, that's probably likely how we're going to be looking at starting players based on contracts and stuff like that. So we'll probably start Gabe Vincent, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, if we do the minutes mentality thing. But I think given the fact that these guys have signed these contracts at much lower than what they were likely to get on the market, they probably understand the importance of not necessarily doing it that way from within their positions. So if they're asked to come off the bench, and for some reason Austin has a lesser role this season, I don't know that he'll be very happy with that. Don't get it twisted. But what I'm saying is the sacrifice is already in place for them to be a part of whatever the Lakers are trying to get them to do. And I think that's essentially what I'm taking them signing lesser deals as. Them getting it fully. And that's what we talk about on this channel. If they follow me, they get it. Because I've been articulating this the whole time. Don't take too much because you're going to hate the situation. You're going to be able to make money either way. You definitely don't want to take too much of the cap, especially if you love your basketball situation. And it seems like our guys get it. Rui gets it. Austin gets it. And I think we did great here, man. I think we did great here. I think we invested in the right guys. You know what I mean? When you consider who are we paying, Austin and Rui are guys I'm happy we investing in for a multitude of reasons. Rui, congratulations specifically because I know the road he's been on with Washington and the road, they didn't really play him with the role and all of that. For him to be able to earn this type of money just in a half a season, playing with the Lakers when you know it's hard to play for the Lakers, especially with LeBron James and you're kind of his body type, that says a lot about what Rui's game is about and what it is he's been able to do under pressure. And so for him to be able to take somewhat of a pay cut, if you ask me, I think he could have got more. I think we did a great job investing in that player multiple years, and I'm pretty sure he's going to turn into something that Washington drafted him to be. That's what I think. And so, super excited about Rui, super excited about Austin, super excited about everybody else. Jackson Hayes as well. I just think the fit is good, and the youth, the age of Jackson Hayes makes me extremely happy about bringing him in. Who's to say he doesn't turn into what he was supposed to be drafted to be in the first place? Who's to say? And it's only been like 3 years. So at the very least, he's still getting better at whatever it is he does. And I think we can utilize him much more than New Orleans was able to because they kept on bringing in guys like Jones and Valanciunas and stuff like that. They didn't need him as much. And he got into some trouble off the court, kind of kept him away from one of the key seasons that he had. And he's only been in the league for, 3 years, 4 years? So maybe a little longer than that. But it ain't been that long. He ain't had that much playing time, just like Cam Reddish, just like Bamba. So I think it's incumbent upon us to be patient with those guys. And we also need to get lucky and have all three of them play well. Assuming Bamba's coming back, which I honestly think there's a good chance he may. Hopefully he does. But that's what I want to see. We got some unproven guys who are considered busts, but we've done good with those type of dudes. We've been able to get more out of them than the other teams have. Troy Brown, I would say, is in that category. We got more out of him. Stanley Johnson, got more out of him. So I just look at those two and I say, okay, that makes me feel confident that maybe we can get more out of Cam Reddish, more out of Bamba, and definitely more out of Jackson Hayes this season. And feel good about them being Lakers more so than other teams felt about them being there. Cam Reddish especially, man. Cam Reddish especially, because we've been very excited about bringing him in from now over 2 years. Nobody's expecting him to come in and be Carmelo Anthony or nothing like that. But this is a 6'8" dude with long arms who has natural ability. He should, in theory, be able to turn into a tall J.R. Smith on the offensive end and then a legitimate lockdown on the defensive end who, unlike J.R., can also do more playmaking stuff. So he's even better than that. And so it's one of those things where it's like, he ain't been in the league but like 7 years, and he was young when he was drafted. Came out of Duke, if I'm not mistaken. All the talent in the world, but they were worried about his motor, just like Bamba. So it's like, if we can just get these guys in situations where you need them, and then, hopefully Reddish has the mentality that he's looking to prove himself and wants to run with the summer unit, because I really want him to run with that summer unit. Although I don't think he's set to. I would like them to put him on the team as a late scratch. If he's 100% healthy to do it, there's no reason he shouldn't be running with young players right now. To prove himself no different than Max Lewis and Max Christie. I kid you not, because he is going to try to do what Rui did last year when he got here and make a name for himself. And the only way Rui was able to do that, Lonnie was able to do that, is if they were completely humble. And we see how it played out for them. I don't see any reason it doesn't play out like that for Cam Reddish and some of these other dudes that we just signed. There's no reason that if you don't put your head down, buy into what the Lakers do, which is develop talent. They really are good at that. If you put your head down, you can find yourself a $50 million guy as early as next season. Because everybody that comes through here trying to make a name for themselves. Malik Monk, nobody knew Malik was a bust when he got here. He didn't leave here nothing but a great player that could hit shots, one of the best shot makers in the league. And that's because we develop. And they don't take long either. We'll take a guy that you ain't never heard of, put him on our team, and turn him into something. Austin Reeves, boom. THT, boom. Every last one of these dudes. And we're going to do the same thing with Cole Swider as well. I feel like the same thing going to happen with Castleton as well. So we have a lot more of them dudes this year, and we're putting that to the test as it pertains to just how much we can get out of them dudes in a regular season before they prove themselves. And I think that's going to be the Achilles heel, so to speak. It's like, all right, we know we're good at this, but did we overdo it in bringing so many of our great young prospects that are improving together at once? Because that is also something that can kind of keep them from playing well if there's too many of them next to each other. So I think that's going to be ultimately what the Lakers are going to have to sort through as the season progresses, and probably end up shaving some of them off to bring more solidified talent halfway through the halfway point. I think they're going to want to do that. I think that, but probably not shave off too much of what we love to do that. It's likely going to be players we're going to want traded. You know how we are. Somebody will pop up. We'll want them gone, whoever it is. Also, underrated aspect of all this is the Taurean Prince signing. I haven't given as much thought to that, but I really love having him on a one-year deal, $5 million. That just works, man. At the end of the day, Taurean Prince is going to play that up. He's going to be a role player that we need. One of the key vets is going to keep this thing together. And just a really solid human being to come in and play some really good minutes. From on the bench or even as a starter in certain situations. I could see Darvin wanting to roll with him as a starting small forward, maybe even to start the season, depending on how our roster looks. How we feel about Max Lewis, how we feel about Max Christie. I don't know if you want to start him out the gate. Taurean Prince next to LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Austin Reeves, and D'Angelo Russell probably seems a bit more realistic to me, just in general how things kind of be. Rui Hachimura, depending, I don't know, but that's kind of how I see the lineup being for us, just to solidify some veteranship while everybody else is trying to figure who they are. But yeah, that ain't gonna last too long. That's only for the first couple weeks, and then we start locking into our units that I think are gonna ultimately be about developing talent around those guys, and we'll probably see a lot of load management with AD and Bron too, so that these kids can get the time on the court they need. I don't expect it will be better than probably a 6-7 seed, but once we get there, we're gonna be as deadly as we were this year. But I honestly don't think our regular season is gonna be all that great, just because of how much unproven talent we have and how many super teams are gonna be around trying to win regular season games. If AD and Bron aren't absolutely elite every single night, there's gonna be a good chance for our young players to just get beaten. You know, it's just young players. You know what I mean? So as the season progresses, they're gonna get better and better, and as their prototypes come together. Once again, just like last year, it looks like they should be able to play and win games without AD and Bron as they learn one another and get better with that synergy. Again, having a training camp is definitely a big plus to that for this unit. So that's what I got to say about the Lakers, man. It's a lot of good stuff, man. It's a lot of good stuff. My expectations, like I said, it's not high for this upcoming season, but I don't think it would have been no matter what we did. I'd rather us be like this than any other way in these circumstances where you don't think a ceiling is a championship. Make sure that everything here is getting better or capable of being traded for more than what we got it for. So that's what I think we have here. Man, super excited. Welcome back, everybody, especially Austin Reeves for giving us that major discount, because I know he could have went out and got a $100 million contract. He could have done that. But he lucked out because he's going to stay a Laker. A lot of people want to be a Laker. He saw the fruit in investing in the Lakers, and we see the fruit in investing in Austin Reeves. So that's what I got to say, man. Super happy we got Austin for another 4 years. Super happy we got Rui for, I think, 4 years as well. I think he's on a 4-year deal. I'm happy, man. I tell y'all, I'm happy. Got Jackson Hayes coming back for an extra year as well. Yeah, man. All of this stuff is on tab for multiple years. Gabe Vincent got 3 years on it. We just got to extend Vanderbilt somehow or move him. I'd rather extend him than move him. You know what I'm saying? D'Lo's on for more than 1 year. So at the very least, we know that a good 80% of the stuff we have will most definitely be back next year, so long as we decide we want it. And that's continuity. Going into Bron's 22nd year, if for some reason we keep him, that's a team he knows coming back for the following year. And if he wants to leave that year, most of that stuff is coming off of the books. So it all aligns in a pretty solid way. Some of those contracts have a 1-year deal on it left for that situation, which should make it easy to move. A guy like Gabe Vincent, at the end of that second year, will be on a 1-year deal at $11 million. Should be easy to move. So that's the kind of thing we're looking at there, man. All of the flexibility the Lakers have managed to get, all of the lengthy wings, including Fudge, that we don't even expect to be anything for another 3 or 4 years. All of that is perfect. Cole Swider and his upside shooting the ball. As soon as people realize what type of shooter we got, they're going to know that's a real piece. right there. Not as much pressure for Cam Reddish to do anything serious, because at the end of the day, everybody's on the same level as you. The whole team is, except for Bron and AD. So everybody has an opportunity. Max Lewis, Cam Reddish, Fudge, Castleton, Hodge, all of them. You all guys. Christie. Nobody's proven, man. Nobody. So just go out there and do your best. And that's what I got, man. Excited about Austin and Rui's role. That's what you're really excited about. For a guy like Rui Hachimura, who's never really had a big contract and a big role, you are starting on a contender with a full training camp and guys looking for you to do what it is you do best in the way that you do it. So if I'm a guy like Rui Hachimura, I've never been happier playing basketball in the NBA. So this is great, man. This is great if you're somebody like me. Now, if you value superstar names, you might be looking at this saying, I'm not so sure if this is anything I would want. But if you value flexibility and overall team health, then you understand why I give this an A+. So that's what I got. My name is BDR44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.